Our next presenter is from the Department of Psychology, and her name is Erika Shultz. The title of the talk is Comparing Natural and Drug Reward Sensitivity in Rat Model, a focus on incentive contrast in non-food restricted animals.
What do the Great British Baking Show and intervention have in common? They both center on highly addictive substances. The brain has a lot of overlap when it comes to things that make us feel good. Most people think of cocaine when they think of things like addiction, but what surprises many is that that overlap in the brain means that the sugar we consume on a daily basis can also be addictive. My research focuses on behavioral response to sugar and alcohol in the context of addiction. We know that the risk for alcohol use disorder is about 50% genetic, but what are some other warning signs? Prior research has shown that alcohol addiction is associated with preference for sweets, so we decided to look there for predictors. One contributing factor to alcohol addiction is diminished reward sensitivity. That is, the way someone tracks changes in the value of a reward. For example, I give you $10 to do this speech for me. Sorry, I'm on a grad student budget. Now I have to give the speech again, so I offer you $20. You might be happier, accept it a little quicker. Third time's the charm. I now offer you $10. Well, that's rude. It was clearly worth $20 before. You might turn me down even though you did it for $10 in the first place, or you might just be a little slower to accept. In that case, you are sensitive to reward. However, if you accept the $10 just as quickly as you accepted the $20, then your sensitivity might be impaired. Rats that are bred to prefer alcohol show this impaired sensitivity. If there is any amount of alcohol, they're in. In my thesis, I looked at sugar consumption and sensitivity to see how that could predict later response to alcohol. The rats would poke their noses into a hole in a chamber, triggering a door to open and giving them access to a reward for varying amounts of time. For the first few weeks, I loaded these rats up with sugar like a devoted grandmother. And for the last few weeks, I loaded these rats up with alcohol like a devoted friend. What we found was that the rats showed very little sensitivity to changes in sucrose reward. Essentially, they were sugar addicts. But what was more interesting was that we found their behavior with sugar in certain contexts could predict their behavior with alcohol later. Now, this is a far way from being able to predict alcohol addiction in humans, so don't throw away your Valentine's Day candy just yet. However, the type of rat, where the rat was, and the amount of reward could all affect their behavior. We do hope that this can help human health in the future, even if it is just a small piece of the puzzle. As the old adage says, prevention is better than cure.